We are going to start with just $100. But the most important thing is not going to be profits, it's going to be our first withdrawal. Now, whatever we will deposit in the account, before we even think of profits, we have to secure back our initial deposit. Now, this is a psychological trick. It's going to help us detach completely from the account. And when we trade without fear of losing, we'll make better decisions in the market. Now, in this video, I am going to show you how to grow a small account without putting a lot of pressure on yourself. You will learn the power of patience, the art of timing your entries, and then all about the psychology of trading a small account. Now, by following the principles I will lay down in this video, you will increase your chances of succeeding growing small trading account. Now, before we do all of that good stuff, if you are new to the channel, welcome. We trade the NASDAQ over here. If you're returning, welcome back. You already know what's up. Don't forget to hit that like button, turn on your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel. Now, with a capital as low as $100 or $200, I want to show you how to get sniper entries like these ones. Now, remember, trading is not a flowery bed of ease. My initial attempt here was a total fail. As you can see, the setup was good. When you're trading a small account, you always want to get the best setups, right? So I did enter a little early on this particular trade, but I immediately re-entered, as I will always trust my analysis. Now, looking at my trading history from my last $100 challenge, where I traded $100 into $1,000 with just one single setup, from that time till now, I had to patiently wait for the perfect setup for the market to drop right back to the point where it currently is. If you want to grow a small trading account, waiting should be your number one priority. So now let's talk about the setup. A simple daily time frame rejection, a 4-hour time frame breakout. I waited for a retest and simply added a position. Next morning, we had a new trend line that the market had broken out of at the same time, respecting the overall setup that we had on the daily time frame. And just like that, later that afternoon, we were already up plus $450. And at this point, I decided to close one trade. Now, your question is why? Why did I close one trade? When you are growing a small account, yes, you have a good setup, you have a good strategy, you have all of the things in place, but you should be able to understand the fact that market moves up and down, right? That movement downwards, I don't want to be in the trade when it goes back for a retest, and I have to close that position to grow the account, right? So I have an initial entry, I added to that entry, but when I face a rejection, I already know that there's a chance that the market might drop from that point. So I want to close that trade that I added so that I can add more capital to my account. When it retraces back, I will add more trades and keep doing that. So I expect the market to drop off, which it did a few hours later, showing that our exit point was just a perfect one. Now, the overall bias is bullish. We just need to know when the retracement will end so that we can add another position. And for that, there are a lot of other tools that you can use. I prefer to use the Fibonacci retracement. And with that tool, I like the 50% and the 60% levels. Our limit order has been placed and triggered a few hours later. And honestly, for one moment, I thought that we had the perfect entry once again. But with these series of belts on the 1-minute time frame, the market was bound to keep dropping, because when you see these series of belts, it indicates that those particular traders that are dropping the market with such a belt are still in control of the market. And just as predicted, the next morning, the market had eventually dropped right back down. There was nothing much to look at in the market for this particular day. Finally, we see a break of the sub-trend with the market pushing up to the top. The buying momentum has been perfectly confirmed at this point. But notice how the 4-hour time frame has a little rejection. And don't forget the fact that we are growing a small account, right? We don't want to hold our trades when we can clearly see a potential rejection. For this reason, I am going to close this particular trade and wait to add position. Wow, that's if we get another pullback. Then it just happened a few hours later with a series of bells. So notice our chart has a lot more information than when we started trading. We have a lot more candlesticks. There's a lot more to read in this market. So let's just simply reanalyze and see what the market is saying at this point. Now that I've realized that the market cannot drop back to my initial entry, I can go on ahead and withdraw my initial deposit so that I can be completely detached from this account. Once my money is out of the broker's hands, I really don't care what happens to the account, because after all, it is no longer my money. I am trading the market's money. And it is a new month. I have just added another position and it is sitting in good profit. A perfect break and a retest of this trend line. Now we simply expect a little drop from this level and then a continued push to the upside. So for now, always remember the rule: we close our trade and then we add positions when the market has dropped.
My new bitch look like Tyler Perry, but she don't love me, she too scary. My old bitch front like Jackie Brown.
And on this day, it was a beautiful Saturday, so I had to process a withdrawal because weekends are for withdrawals. This is now our second withdrawal on this account. We have withdrawn a total of $400 from our initial deposit.
Now my bitch is Chanel. Will you be my leading lady? I wanna coach
and a few hours later, I eventually found a perfect spot to add more trades at the break of the trend line. This particular trade confirmed pretty fast the next day, going over onto the next day, showing us that the bulls are still in control of the market.
You weren't special till I made you so. You better act like you know that I've been through worse to you.
Now at this point, I want to take advantage of the momentum that I'm seeing the bulls giving us, and at this point I'm going to add a position. You should be able to differentiate between momentum candles, indecision candles, and all of those other candlesticks when you're trading with price action. At this point, we see a good series of momentum candles. Therefore, I already know that before the sellers step in, the buyers should still push the market to the top for a little while. So these two trades combined eventually took us to plus $1,230, and this was our initial trade that we took at the very beginning, that is holding over $670. What a move, what a catch we had for the past few days. We're going to go on ahead and close this beautiful trade and process the withdrawal, leaving our account with just $100 for the next setup that we'll see, and we'll do the exact same thing again. Now, that was not very difficult, was it? I just exercised a lot of patience throughout these few days, trading just a small account, and finally we've gotten our withdrawal, and you have seen that throughout the whole video. Now it's all up to you. If you want to trade a small account, always learn to exercise patience before you take each and every trade, and always interpret what the market is doing with each and every single candlestick that it forms. Now, if you did enjoy this video, don't forget to hit that like button, turn on your post notifications, and subscribe to the channel. You feel me? With that is Pintino, and I'll see you in the next lit video. Peace.